Take what your mama gave you, because it's the TUBCAST, and we're here to save you from all of your loneliness and sad thoughts. Just put on a smile and hang out for a while with the Tub Boys here to make all of the tub noise that you've come to expect. My name is Eric, and as always, I'm joined by Kyle.
Hello.
And Jeremy.
Yep.
And the Knobby Twister over there. Mr. Knobby Twister is what we call him.
Since when?
Since right now.
Oh, okay.
That's your name. That's Kuiper's.
Don't you dare try to fight it.
Plan, and he knows the game. Ah, man. Here we are. It doesn't feel like... It feels like a long week. Like, has it actually been only a week since we did this show?
I was thinking the same thing.
Man, it's like, it feels like it's been like a month since we did the TUBCAST last.
Yeah.
Woo! Hey, everyone.
And then before that, it probably felt like a month because you were in Florida.
Yeah, that's true. I was in the Atlantas for a few days for some work things.
This week.
Yeah, so it's good to be back.
Hey, Luca in the chat.
Hello.
Luca, welcome. So, Jeremy, I was going to ask, you've been flying a lot lately.
Yes.
I
am in 2 weeks again.
Yeah, so when you fly,
Yeah.
how often do
My
you
arms
think...
get tired.
Good one.
Speaking of, real quick to derail this a little more, the Webster's Dictionary just made dad jokes a singular word and put it in the dictionary this week.
Wait, like it's joined?
Dad joke.
Like
It's a single word now. Dad joke.
No
it's
space.
a thing. No space.
You suck.
I'm just saying. They also added they as a singular non-binary pronoun, so there's that too.
Wow, progress. So I was going to ask you, how often do you think while you're on the plane about how it's going to crash and how you're going to die horribly?
Never, except for maybe one time this year because it was really bad turbulence.
Yeah, only during turbulence.
But most of the time, I don't care.
That's the only time I ever think of it.
I just can't.
You
like,
can't
get
stop
it out of
thinking
my
about
head.
the fact that you're sitting in a chair suspended way up in the air.
I'm like, hey, I'm 30,000 feet in the air.
Do you shut if you're by the window and the blind is
No,
open?
I look
do you
out
shut it
because
immediately?
of morbid curiosity.
Oh, okay.
And I do this thing like as we get closer to the ground, I'm like, oh, if we crash now, I'd probably live. This is all. That's
pretty morbid.
Yeah.
I've had the same thoughts though.
Like-
I've had the same thoughts.
As we come in for landing, I'm just like, okay, well, I can start to feel safer because if we crash at this height, I probably won't
we're
die.
only like a 10-story building up now. Okay, now we're at a 5.
So here's why I totally disagree.
Why you disagree
with your analogy?
because
no, I can't. I'm going to tell you why you guys are wrong.
No, I'm just saying that's the way
I know, and now I'm going to ruin it for you.
I just rationalize it.
Now I'm going to ruin it for you.
I know they die
because now you're going at 200 miles an hour
fast
right next to pavement, and
Yeah.
if you come out of that plane, you're turning into road rage. And if you live,
Why would I come out of the plane? I
If-
have the seatbelt on the whole
listen,
time. I never
the
take
problem
that
is,
thing off.
if you live, it'll be a terrible life.
I
You
never
don't know that.
I never
'Cause
unbuckle.
your legs are going to get dismembered because you have no knee room in the
No,
seats that you
no.
can, that
That's
you
true.
get.
You
You're
that's
right.
not-
You're gonna
that's
at
not
the knees,
true.
man. They're gone.
Yeah.
How do you know
Actually,
that
there's
you're
a
just
good
gone
chance.
at the knees?
There's a good chance that your knees are gonna push back into your hips.
Yeah,
and
sure.
You're gonna like waist down, be just not
Sure.
Yeah.
Tell that to Travis Barker.
So.
He's
he was
still
in a
alive.
private jet, though. He
Still.
probably had a lot more
It's
leg
not
room.
okay.
I mean,
So,
still.
but like it's one of those things where like I don't mind the takeoff. I think the takeoff's kind of fun. It's the landing that is just not ever fun. Like my hands get sweaty, my feet get sweaty. It's that landing where they're like, you're going 600 miles an hour, and they got to stop this thing.
And then they bounce sometimes.
Well,
It's the bounce.
When we landed in Florida, the plane was sideways, and no one ever said anything. And I'm
Nope,
like,
it's like
the whole like inside the interior, my whole like horizon was
Wait.
crooked.
As you hit the ground, it was
Yes.
crooked.
Yeah.
And no one around
The
you
lady
reacted?
beside me was just like, That was scary. And I was like, yeah, I got to go find some new undies.
That's not supposed to happen. It's supposed to be flat.
And everyone was like, oh, that was a good landing. I'm like,
no.
The lady was scared.
No, do not believe
I'm not
the lies
saying it
that
was,
they told you
I'm not
in
saying
Florida.
it was like a crazy angle, but it was still not like level. Like we were like the one side was tilted down, and
I tell you what, the
weird.
first plane ride that I took that I remember where I wasn't like a baby.
Baby.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a baby flyer.
Like there was a time or two that my mom traveled to visit family.
Yeah.
But like the first time, I think it was like right after I was out of high school was the first time that I really flew. And the landing, it bounced like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
And I was just like, whoa, we made it.
Yeah.
That felt great. And everybody around me is like, that was the worst landing I've ever had in my entire life. I was like, really?
No.
That seemed like that was all right. And then the next flight that the connecting flight, I couldn't even tell that we touched the ground. And then you felt the brakes, and I was like, oh, that other one was terrifying.
I think I know why it doesn't bother me.
Because
you're ready I was comfortable enough to jump out of a plane.
Yeah, but you don't have a parachute in that thing.
Well, that's true.
You just land and hit the ground hard.
Yeah, you're getting your knees pushed up into your butt
like,
the same way everyone else is.
I feel like if you're in a plane, you have a better chance of
dying
instead of surviving in a car accident. So that's the rationale for me.
But it's also like the likelihood of the plane is like what 1 in 6 million.
Yeah, significantly less likely too.
But then I just can't help but think like, I know you don't
get scared on the road because you're in control.
I know,
right?
That's the thing.
I get scared when someone else is driving.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I don't feel like I think it's a control issue for me because it's like I'm not a pilot, but in my head, I'm like, if I was flying this plane, I'd feel safer. And I'm not a pilot.
Which is funny because
I know.
You'd also be freaking out.
I am not saying any of these things are rational. I'm just saying they're what I feel.
No, but there's
I just say, computers do all the work now anyway.
Well, that's what I hear. Is they're like, oh, the pilot just sits there and like plays solitaire.
It's the little planes you should be scared of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a weird thing, and it's been proven for years. It's worked, and we all, people get along. When's the last time like a domestic flight has actually crashed that wasn't like a terrorist thing? I guess
There's been some that this year where they skid off the runway, they didn't take off right, or but not like there was a couple years ago that one that went into the ocean. They couldn't find it.
Well, I mean,
Remember
they did
that?
have a recall of
the
a large fleet that Southwest was flying.
Well. But those were like crashing overseas. A lot of the like international flights they were having problems with them, but yet they still recalled them domestically.
Yeah.
But the one, so like we took out. I left Atlanta last night around, I don't know, it was probably about 9 o'clock or something their time, Eastern time. And
wow, that's a late flight back.
Yeah, and it
was 8 o'clock here.
It was
well,
fine.
Sure, but
yeah. Or I don't know. Well, it was a 2-hour flight. I got here at 11. So I got here at 11 Central Time. Is that right?
So
that
yeah,
right?
that means you left.
Or did I leave Atlanta at 10?
At 10.
Yeah, I left Atlanta at 10 o'clock. Okay. So anyways, doesn't matter.
Yeah, there you go.
I time traveled. But so it was fine. The flights are fine, and nothing was bad. It was uncomfortable. There's 2 people, a couple in front of me who they both reclined their seats. Which I just want to make a statement here. I tweeted it.
So rude.
Don't recline your seats, you scumbag.
Seriously.
Whoever you are, don't do that. If you get on a plane.
Like the guy who does it before you even take off, too?
Are you kidding me? You think that 2 inches, that seat move back, is going to help you sleep any better on that plane? All it did is make the person behind you uncomfortable.
Yep.
So don't do it.
You know what I'll do?
Yeah.
I'll put down, as soon as I can put down the thing on the back of their chair.
The tray?
I'll put it down and I'll lean on it and make sure they know I'm there.
If they tilt back.
Oh, yeah. I
wanted to do that.
And I just kind of bump it every now and then.
Or
the guy who gets in behind you and decides to just like push on your seat real heavy as they go to sit down or something. You're just like, whoa.
Like I've had guys like fall into the seat beside me too. And it's like, how? You like elbow me. Like chill out, dude. Sit down slowly. Like what? People are so inconsiderate. But here's the thing. The flight back was fine. No worries, right? Everything's good. My wife sends me an article this morning that says... there was another. I was flying Delta, another Delta flight that left Atlanta last night. That was like part of. I don't know where they were going. It was a bigger plane. It dropped 30,000 feet in 7 minutes. It went for a
7 seconds. You mean?
No, 7 minutes. It went for like almost like a free fall. It just like went like so. It was because it was a bigger plane, so it said it flew at like 39,000 feet.
So it got real close in comparison.
It dropped about to 10,000 feet in like 7 minutes. And they said that, and like there was a video of it that was like a few seconds of the aftermath, and it showed like the drink service cart was like tipped over. So it must have been like in the middle of like when they're after the like let's unbuckle the seatbelts and
jeez.
And so like people were all like terrified and thinking they were gonna die.
I've had some significant drops where I felt like I was coming out of the seat for a second or two.
Yeah,
but not that long. That's nuts.
It's just. But anyways, I was like, oh yeah, that's what my fear always is. But they were fine. I guess the pilots kind of had to take control and figure out what was going on. But yeah,
air pressure pockets or something. That sounded scientific, right?
Well, they said like even the masks come down. I was talking to a guy today who said that like they'll sometimes drop those oxygen masks even when they're not necessary, just to keep the peace on the plane.
See, that would freak.
I know.
Out.
That's what I told
him.
No, but here's the thing.
That says something's wrong.
I know, but what he says is it keeps them in their seats.
Keeps them in their seats
because they think they need the oxygen. So people will all like focus on that.
That's actually pretty.
And so if that thing pops down, there's no way I'm freaking out and running around the cabin. I'm
that's true.
Putting that thing on my face and taking deep breaths of pure oxygen.
He said the flight attendants are like trained to flip the switch to drop them manually
crazy.
If something's going crazy, and they need to make sure people don't try to
wow.
Because one, they might, if they panic, they might like try to do the escape thing or something, open the door or freak out or so they like try to keep people.
And then you get yourself a whole Liam Neeson situation.
Who watched Boys? The Boys.
Yes.
Did you finish the whole thing?
Yes.
That one thing.
Oh my gosh,
the
that
plane.
episode.
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but that scene on the plane.
That was
heart-wrenching.
That was rough.
It was just. Oh my god! I think I thought about that so much since I've been traveling the last few weeks. I was just like, that was so messed up. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about if you watch The Boys.
And if you haven't, you'll know what we're talking about after you watch The Boys.
Unless you just can't handle things that aren't happy.
Yeah.
Then don't watch
The Boys.
Anyways, that's probably enough. I hope someone's on a plane right now listening to this episode. Hope your flight's going well.
Thank you for subbing.
Thank you.
Thank you. The audio, guys.
That wasn't as loud.
Anyways.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all.
That's what you've been up to.
Yeah, just
flying.
I don't know why I'm sure it's not that I'm afraid of it because I'm not like freaking out. There's just like kind of an uneasy feeling.
Yeah, there's just kind of like
I will say when I land, I always get just a little sweaty. I get a little nervous.
Yeah,
I don't know why.
There's always an uneasy anxiousness. I think that a lot of people have when flying.
And it's like irrational in so many ways.
Yeah,
right?
it's irrational in a lot of ways, and it's in a lot of other ways it's rational that you would feel that way because again you're that far up in the sky.
Yeah. See, I get more concerned that like if I get on the plane before the person who's going to be sitting next to me gets on the plane, because I like the aisle seat, and then I'm like, okay, who do I have to move for? And I keep watching all the people as they walk by, like, are they looking at this aisle? Who's going to be? Just so I know who's going to be. And then I'm like, I don't want them to stink. That's kind of primary, right? You don't want stinky people.
Yeah, you can't control that though, Jeremy.
I know, but you got to be on the plane for a few hours. You want
really,
some pleasant
Really
smells.
What we're discovering is that flying is
and I don't want that guy who talks all the time about stuff you don't care about. Like, just let me watch my movie on my phone.
Yeah.
It's
fine. That's understandable.
Those are the two things I worry about when I get on a plane.
Yeah.
I was just like, there was one when I was coming back from Florida. There was a guy that sat down, and I was sitting next to my son, and my son had the window seat. I was in the middle. This dude sits down, and he's like, there was a screaming kid, and like towards the back of the plane, and so he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna sit here," and he was the one that fell into the seat, like literally just dropped.
It wasn't even his real seat.
He was.
I'm not gonna.
Well, Southwest, they have open
doors.
Yeah, okay.
And so he just like drops in there. And like, and he's like, well, I'm going to sit here because I don't want to deal with that screaming kid. And I'm just kind of, and it was a lighter flight.
In your mind, you're thinking you're still dealing with it.
I'm like, you don't have to do anything with that kid.
Yeah, I know. It's like you're just a little bit further away from it.
Yeah.
But whatever. And then like at one point, my son had to go to the bathroom, so I was like, hey, sorry, like he's got to go to the bathroom. And then what's funny is I never unbuckle on a flight, even when it says you can unbuckle your seatbelt.
Well, yeah, you're actually not supposed to if you're not getting up.
Yeah, I just still never do.
Yeah.
I never get up. I don't go to the bathroom. I make sure I go to the bathroom before the flight.
Right.
I'm not going to go on the plane.
I feel safer. It's the one thing I can control on the plane.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I'm wearing my seatbelt.
And it's like I don't want to stand up. I just don't want to deal with it. Like I just imagine the moment I stand up, it's going to be the randomest worst turbulence that happened. I'm going to like
you're going to hit your head on the ceiling because you're just going to have a couple of inches of air that you're going to catch.
So I'm just like so my son had to go to the bathroom, and I was just like, I don't want to get up with you right now to do this, but whatever. So I walk back. But anyways, he's like being nice. He's like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'll get up, whatever. So we come back and sit down, but then he has to go the extra step of saying, I was like, I kind of just said like me being over apologetic like I usually am to strangers, and I'm just like, oh, sorry about that, I didn't mean to, whatever. And he's like, well, as long as he isn't screaming, I'm fine. And I'm just
goodness.
like, okay. Like
on the way back, it would have been like, hey, Dad.
8 years old. Like
I'd be like, I tell you what, scream as soon as you go in.
Just
one, like just start crying. And then, like, give it a good 30 seconds and then be like, okay, I'll be fine.
No, what you should have done is...
my iPad! I want my iPad!
What you should have done is just told him that he should explain and talk about Fortnite to the guy.
There you go.
Swap seats with
Swap seats and talk to this guy the rest of the trip.
The rest of the trip.
Yeah, that would have worked.
Oh, man.
Anyways.
Hey, mister. Hey, mister.
Serves you right, Mr. Elbows.
Yeah.
And then he's got to do the dances in the seat.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I don't know.
So I also one thing I want to mention about Atlanta. I'd been to the
it's a good TV show.
I'd been to the airport before, but I'd never really been just around the city that much. Like I didn't really explore it that much. But the one thing I was disappointed in is I think my preconceived notions of the South were wrong. You must have to go further towards like Alabama or something to get the accents. Because I didn't talk to one person there that had an accent.
I think away from the bigger cities.
Yeah, I think in Atlanta there's less of
in the
that.
suburbs.
But if you get a little bit further, even in Georgia, then you get more.
But I just figured
that.
like I get like
Kentucky,
one person.
Man, I hear the drawls.
Yeah,
all the time.
I wanted that. I wanted that experience, and I was really disappointed.
Yeah,
I didn't get any cool accents.
Mississippi and Alabama, you'll get a lot of that.
Yeah, that's all. I feel like even in Tennessee, I heard more accents than I did.
It's probably true.
Atlanta. Anyways,
got old Rocky Top.
What's everybody else been doing? Sorry, I didn't mean to hijack the whole top of the show. It was just on my head. I had plain brain.
Yeah, plain brain. I've been watching the new HBO series, The Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah.
Have you watched that at all? Has anyone else watched it?
Nope.
I will say I saw the first 2 episodes.
Okay.
I haven't gotten any further. Did you watch all?
I'm caught up.
Is there 5 episodes out now?
There's 5 episodes out now. That is Danny McBride is
something. He's a treasure.
Something.
Yeah.
The stuff that he puts together.
He wrote and directed that first episode too.
He's like co-writer for all of them. Just like he was. I mean, the vice principals wasn't as good, I don't think, as what was Eastbound and Down. But this one I feel like is right on par there with that. It's just
the cast is great too. When you got like John Goodman,
right?
And,
the music is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's and I mean, I don't know. There is something to be said about a story of the big giant conglomerate pastors that
televangelists
that just rake in a lot of money and just kind of that the whole story is something that is just ridiculous.
Even hearing people who have been in even the Southern Baptist Church have said that like, hey, this is pretty accurate to the way that people put the ministers and stuff on a pedestal at those Southern Baptist churches. And I'm even surprised, like, I mean, all of us, grew up going to church and all that sort of stuff. So we, you kind of have an idea of what it's like. And a lot of times when you see, obviously you have an idea what it's like, but I guess I'm saying, like, it feels like Hollywood never has an idea of what real authentic church life is like, and it's always represented in these really bad tropes, and it's like, okay, this isn't real. This is still like it's a caricature of what that might be like, but I think that because they obviously are taking liberties on a lot of things, but the stuff that they do within kind of the church context is probably, for what it's going for, is probably the most accurate that I've seen portrayed on TV.
And it sounds like
movies.
they've spent a lot of time researching it, because they're like, for this show to work with what we're doing and the story that he wanted to tell, they had to get some of it authentic. I mean, you know what I mean? Like have it at least feel authentic. Because I think one of the things that he said in an interview that I read was that you can't just make them all jerks that you have like that it doesn't make sense that people wouldn't buy into their personas on the stage. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like seeing that, hey, we've kind of stumbled into these personas on stage and people like us and give us money, and they're really just jerks behind the scenes. But man, I'm interested to see where it goes. The music alone, I mean, they wrote most of the music in the show,
like the worship music.
Yeah, like the worship music and everything.
They have a really classic soundtrack though too.
Yeah,
like, of real songs.
Yeah,
that are.
But every time that they have like a service that they're showing or anything, and it's on stage, it's all like something that you've never heard before, but it sounds like a spot on.
Just wait till that one worship leader picks one of them songs.
Oh man,
sings it at church.
Oh man, there's one in the 5th episode that specifically shines.
The song.
It's a song. Yeah, you'll know it when you get to it.
Yeah, I need to.
It's man. It's been stuck in my head all week. So, but yeah, it's pretty funny satire.
All right, there you go.
I'm enjoying it so far. So, other than that, just been playing Borderlands 3, and just started it actually because I finished Gears 5.
You played 2 hours of it.
Yeah, I got about 2 hours in this afternoon.
You're a pro.
So
now.
I pretty much know what I'm talking about with it.
Yeah, I saw you on. I thought about, we should join up, and
then he was like, "Oh, I don't want."
So that we could talk about
me back.
So we could talk about the co-op play, and
no, we'll have to do that later so that we can talk about that next week.
There you go, something to do.
I actually played a little co-op, but
shut up, Kuipers. Okay. No one asked you.
Fine, Kuipers. No, tell us about it.
Tell us about it.
You told me to shut up.
We're super excited.
Okay,
go ahead.
I do like.
Is it like you played with your friends?
Yeah.
What's that voice you're doing?
I don't know.
That's kind of how you
voice.
do co-op, Jeremy. I know you need to have friends.
But
to be able to play
with this
friends.
with Borderlands 3,
yeah,
they made a change to co-op.
Yeah,
because it used to be, you get it, it's yours, or you could steal from people with the loot drops.
Yeah, but
now there's a friendly version.
Yeah, like I actually played that mode which was great because I was level 14 at the time, and
I might actually play with Jeremy at this then, because that was the worst freaking part. Jeremy, you have to understand something about Jeremy.
I know this.
Is he's so competitive, he will turn something that's supposed to be cooperative into
like
a
I'm
competition.
not the only one that's competitive.
No, I know I'm competitive, but not when it's supposed to be cooperative. I'm not. And you I want to experience the game, soak it up, and you're just like, zoom! I just want to run through the thing to the checkpoint. If I see a glowy thing, I'm gonna get there before anyone.
Which is funny because when I play the game solo, I'm a completionist, so it's like
I know,
opposite.
but why does
I think it's because I feel like I'm gonna miss something. I think is what it is.
Yeah, it's freaking annoying. That's why I don't like playing games with you, because I'm just like, oh my gosh, just settle down.
I promise I promise that will not be the case.
Even in a game
if you play this game with me.
Yeah, because it doesn't.
I will
It
sit
doesn't matter.
back.
Oh, I'll put the friendly mode on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll get all the loot drops. I could kill people, and you're like, loot!
Technically, I think it's based on whoever starts the missions if
Correct.
they set themselves
so,
up
Yeah,
as the cooperative one,
at the
which
beginning,
is
you
the
get to
default.
choose. You can't change it, can you?
Yeah, you can change it. There's a default, and then there's one that turns it back to the to the original.
I chose to play nice. I
Borderlands.
was like, in case I know that if the guys play with me, they're going to want it on this setting.
Well, it
for
just
good
seems
reason.
stupid that you wouldn't
You know.
do it because there are people like Jeremy out there that
And
will
you definitely
just,
wouldn't do that with a stranger. You got to set your settings to friends only. You don't want.
And it's not the thing though too is that it's not just the gun drops that are like unique to each person. It also scales the combat to each to whatever level you're at too. So like for example, I was level 14. One of my roommates joined in at level 1, just making a new character. We were able to take down the boss together without him dying all the time because they scaled. They kind of like.
Yeah, that's
so that
nice.
could make it easier to defeat big bosses with lower leveled players that shouldn't even be at that point of the map.
Yeah,
I mean that was I think one of the biggest problems with the Division is that there wasn't a good scaling for that because I tried playing especially the Division 2 because of the difficulty level of that increasing from the first one. I tried jumping in with Jeremy who had way more hours in than I did by the time I kind of started going.
That one was frustrating.
Right. I mean, it's like, I'm going up against level 20 dudes that I've got like next to nothing that I can do.
Even
like
being
I'm not even
like
making
4
a
levels
dent.
different would be.
Yeah.
It was bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really cool that they've got that set up in a way that it's not stuck like that.
I'll say the skill trees in the game I've really been enjoying. I don't know what's the characters you guys have been playing as.
I picked.
I don't remember their names.
Fleck.
So
I picked Fleck, the Beastmaster.
Yeah, the Beastmaster.
and so that one, what's his main?
He's
the big dude, right?
Yeah, he's got. I think that everybody kind of has 3 sets of things that they can kind of go through in the tree.
Yeah.
But then his additional thing is that he's got a pet that basically wanders around with him that gives you an extra bonus.
I'm using Zane, the operative.
The operative,
which I think fits my character play type pretty well. He's got a drone basically that helps him out.
Do you use 2 different skills or do you use grenades?
Oh man, grenades are amazing. So I always use grenades because I have a grenade that blows up and they drop money like crazy, and money's important in this game.
Definitely.
So grenades. I tried with 2 skill trees, but I went back to grenades.
So is there, and maybe I haven't gotten far enough in some of the storyline, but I feel like I've picked up a lot of guns that I don't care about and won't keep.
Yeah, you
is
sell
there a way?
them.
Where do you sell them?
At any of the vending machines.
Any of the vending machines. Okay.
It doesn't have to be
I
the
must
gun
not
vending
have-
machine. It can be any vending machine, and they're normally at the beginning of different world sections or bases.
Because I've seen the vending machines, but I didn't. Maybe I just was missing what button would actually sell.
So you're probably not able to pick up more stuff because the whole loot system.
Well, I've got a couple of slots that are open, but I'm like, do I need to hold on to these and try to sell them, or should I break them down
so
as
you
trash?
you can mark them as trash, and then when you go to sell them, they sell all. So you don't have to go back and look through them and go, oh, did I really mean to sell that one or not?
I mean, I pretty much don't have anything that I'm attached to at this point, other than what I have equipped. So.
Early game, I think it's more important to know what type of gun that you like. So do you like the shotgun? Do you like the sniper? Like those are the things that I think matter more earlier on. But then as you start to advance, then you go, okay, what I like about the Borderlands series, and this one, it seems like they've done a really good job of it, is there's so much uniqueness to the different weapons. So there's a shotgun, but it has high melee damage because it's got a blade on the end of it, versus
that's why
there's a sniper rifle that shoots in full auto, and it's like they just have, and then some of them have switchable things that you can change on them. So there's this one gun I got that it squirts water, but then you can switch it and squirt electricity. So you increase your
electricity.
They're electric bullets, so it shoots electric bullets, but it squirts water first. So the way you use the pistol, you guys think that's funny, but whatever. The way you see
said it squirts electricity.
That's kind of what it looks like it does. But listen,
I love
so
that you just
get the
power
point,
through
right?
and you're not. It
because
doesn't even
it's a
crack
stupid
you
thing
up.
to laugh about. But the point is, how you use that firearm matters. It doesn't. It's like not that great by it. Like if you just use one or the other, because the electricity doesn't do much to the character unless they're wet. So you have to plan on, okay, I need to shoot 2 or 3 to get them wet, and then I need to flip the switch and then shoot the electricity, and then you accentuate the damage that you do. And there's other ones like that. So anyway, I like that part of the game.
Squirt them with electricity.
It's all about that cheeseburger cannon, though.
You have the cheeseburger cannon?
Yeah.
Nice. I've got the...
What is going on in this
There's
game?
I've got the pistol
cheeseburger
that
cannon?
shoots your money. So
I
you
heard-
never... You only run out of ammo if you run out of money.
I heard there was a gun that shoots guns too.
Yep.
Do you have
What?
that? Anybody have that?
I don't have it yet, but
I don't, but I have a sniper rifle that when you reload, instead of reloading, it throws the gun and it turns into this like brain-looking turret that shoots people. So instead of shooting the gun, and you can only reload if you've already shot a bullet. So I figured out with that specific gun, it made more sense to shoot once or twice and then throw the gun, because now you could set up all these turrets all over the place, and they shoot until the amount of ammo that's on it is empty. So you'd shoot once, throw it down a turret, and you could do multiple of those versus shooting one at a time yourself.
Jeez.
And so you could preemptively kill more people because of the way that you use the weapon, which is interesting.
That's cool.
So
I think I haven't had a chance to play this yet. I've been busy, kind of a crazy few weeks, so I'm trying to the games I am playing I'm trying to stick to. But
Sure.
it's kind of one of those things where I'm looking at the reviews. There's been some kind of shady business about the way they released the review codes for these, for the who could review them and who couldn't. And
a lot of influencers and not
traditional.
traditional.
They gave a handful of the traditional outlets early review codes.
Right.
I think GameSpot and IGN and some of those.
but they gave them they couldn't do anything till the day before publish anything, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about they had
they
time
didn't even
to
have
oh yeah, they had
review
a
it.
week to review the game.
That's maybe they might have had 2 weeks.
Or,
I don't
yeah.
know, but I'm just saying they had time to review the game, and then other outlets were told, "Oh, well, we don't have copies for you because of security reasons."
Security.
And what's funny is that
national security.
a podcast we mentioned it before, but I listened to the Giant Bombcast pretty weekly,
Right.
and they were saying that the letter or the email they got said, due to your sentiment of your coverage from the preview announcements or whatever for at E3 for the game, we've decided to not send you a code till the day before the game comes out.
Wow.
And
That's
so
so
they-
sketch.
The fact that they even said it makes
so
it even
that's what they
worse.
said to them, but then everybody else gets this excuse that it's for security reasons. So they were kind of speculating on their podcast that maybe that one they got an early email about it where they decided to change their tone.
They realized maybe that wasn't the right way.
Yeah.
To handle it.
And so it's they were anybody who might have been a little bit negative towards it, they were not going to send them a review copy because they want that day one Metacritic score to be high, which it was. And but after looking at reviews and hearing you guys talk about it, and I'm really excited to check it out. I just haven't got around to it yet. I think that the biggest problem here was just that PR storm of Randy Pitchford nonsense of him with his weird leaving his thumb drive with porn on it at the
medieval times.
Medieval times. Yeah. And just all this stuff and him always trying to be a magician at all the press conferences and just being creepy in general and all this bad press that kind of came out around it. I think people are oh, I don't know what to think about. I think this game, if 2K could have just got in front of that and been hey, Randy, just shut up and let us promote the game. I feel that there wouldn't be this kind of a little bit of a cloud over it, because it sounds like it's a good, a good one of those.
I will say, if you try to play the game as a normal shooter where you the weapon doesn't necessarily matter. The way you attack an area doesn't matter. You're just shooting, more traditional style. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. I don't think you'd enjoy the game. The parts that I'm enjoying about it is learning about the different weapons as I start to use them, and then I'll switch them up and find a different one. But also, it's that you run through these hallways and get one or two bad guys and get more loot, and then you come to a big area and there's a big fight with a bunch of them. But if you just try going in there and more traditionally doing it, you're gonna die way too much. And so it feels like no matter what level you are or weapons you're not just moving through it easy, and you have to have some strategy. Like earlier tonight, I was taking on one of the area bosses, and I wasn't thinking about how that particular boss was attacking me, and I was realizing it was taking my shields down faster than I was being too exposed. So then I had to change up my play style to make sure that I wasn't. So as you can tell, I like the game. I like this style of the Schluter game, but and I think Borderlands does that well. So
yeah. The weirdest thing for me so far, I mean, the shooting and everything feels great, but the weirdest thing for me is shifting from Gears 5, where you've got the ability to cover.
There's no cover in this.
You
have to hide behind something.
Yeah,
specifically.
Your cover is, I'm going to move behind this thing, but I'm not actually in cover where I can peek out and shoot at something. So that, in that way, it does feel a little antiquated. Yeah. That it doesn't have any type of not even just a corner where you can peek out and shoot, but otherwise I'm enjoying it so far. I mean,
not many games do that though. Like when it's like Gears was like a cover shooter. It's intended.
Sure.
See, I don't like that part of their game.
Why?
I don't like the I think I talked about it last week. I don't like the way you kind of hunch down to run, and then your movement is restricted.
Well, sure, but I mean,
you slide into cover, and then to get out of cover is awkward.
I get it. That's fine that you don't like it, but that's what that game is.
No, you're absolutely right.
It's
absolutely
since the beginning. It's a cover shooter, and that's.
I like the story of that game, so that's why I play it.
But I enjoy that. I think it's much more strategic than just run and gun and shoot and be a cuckoo bananas man. Like like that, the strategy behind a cover shooter, but that's also kind of what you're going there for, if you're playing that. But
I like a game that's a little in between that
where you
that isn't necessarily
I just the first person thing that never for cover just doesn't ever feel great. Because I don't ever know if it's a first person shooter, I just never feel okay, am I actually in cover?
That's true.
And then it's some
you get this weird view over the shoulder.
Some PC
really?
games will do the. Well, no, I'm talking about first person shooters.
No, I know, but when you're in cover, it feels like your head's still out of cover.
Yeah, I get, but it's if you in some PC games have the lean, and that kind of
works. You're right.
That
does make sense. First person may not necessarily be.
For me, anyways, I just don't. I don't love the feel. There's not a game that I can think of that I really worked with cover shooter. What's the one? Ghost Recon. Both the old one, the original one, and this new one, or the remake, I guess. Wildlands and this new one. They do that thing where it goes first person once you aim down sights.
Oh yeah.
And it's third person the rest of the time, which that's a little bit weird too, but I think it kind of works because you kind of can see if you're behind cover in third person, and then you're dialing it in when you're aiming down sights.
Which game was it that came out a little while ago where they did something with their first person where it had first or third person had no benefit over the other because of the way that they handled. If you were in third person, they restricted your ability to see around corners, and it was a shooter. I can't remember what it was, but that one was kind of interesting because you could flip between the two, and you didn't notice a major difference between the two in some respect. So,
anyways, it sounds like it's a border. Is there anything in it that's? Without kind of ruining any surprises or anything, is there anything that is actually substantially different from the previous game, or is it just kind of hey, there's new guns and it's just more Borderlands?
It's mostly more Borderlands.
Okay.
There's some driving mechanics and different things that you can get there.
Which there was driving.
There was
games.
but I think done a little more with that, but it's more of still a transitional mechanism.
What were you gonna say, Kuipers?
I was gonna say like there's more vehicles, but then I also kind of thought more about what Jeremy's talking about too.
But yeah, it's still definitely Borderlands. So
I gotta say, I don't like the controls for the vehicle at all.
Is it like Halo controls?
Yeah, but it's like
right
worse.
stick is
like,
look, and then you turn where you look, but it's not as quick.
But like is gas on the left stick?
Gas is the left stick. It's only forward and backwards. The steering
like
doesn't.
There is no side to side
There's
steering.
no
the
side
steering
to
is
side
with
steering.
your
It's
looking.
all with what you're looking, and it's like delayed. So when you hit the right stick to turn, it's like it doesn't respond quite on.
I thought the same way the first couple hours I played it, and then I got used to it. And yeah, it's not great driving, but I can now stop quicker, turn quicker,
Right.
Do those things without I get it now. I feel it now. I will say they've made it so that there's like adjustments to the vehicles that you can collect by hijacking the bad guys' vehicles.
You can kind of piecemeal together.
You can hijack enemy cars now too.
Correct. Yeah. And
cool.
And that's actually the only way you can get certain upgrades to your vehicles, is to get them through seeing a bad guy's vehicle that has something like a hover engine or a better turbo or stuff or a different type of weapon. So, anyway,
so it's good.
I think it's good. I think honestly, I think it's been the right amount of time since the Borderlands came out that
I don't think like
feel
anybody really played
absorbed.
the pre-sequel. Like our people that did not like it and didn't finish it.
I actually thoroughly enjoyed the pre-sequel. But
oh, really?
I'm weird like that.
Oh, pre-sequel that was
you liked
full
the,
game,
the
right?
moon physics.
It definitely took after the first boss to actually get used to it the first time, but then I eventually grew to like it.
When you say the moon physics, you mean like the
zero gravity or the floaty stuff.
There is a section in this game that I think incorporates that a little bit.
Yeah, but it's
without the oxygen.
The pre-sequel though was like that was the whole game.
Yeah,
like,
that would suck.
But that was still a while ago. I think everything it's like far enough removed. It probably from what I've seen, it looks way better than the other Borderlands. Like it just graphically it looks amazing. Cool. Is that the game? Is that everybody? That's pretty much what everybody's been playing then? Did everybody give up on Control?
I hadn't started it yet.
I tried for about another hour and
Right.
I was like, it's just not a game for me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
maybe I didn't wait long enough, but I think it also was the fact that Borderlands came out.
I'm excited to play it. I think that part of the reason that I threw Borderlands in, I got them both at basically the same time, and I was playing Gears, so I was like, might as well throw this disc in and install it. And so that one was installed, and I ended up getting Control on PlayStation, so I just hadn't installed it yet.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'd say about halfway through it. I mean, I'm so behind on games right now. But
stay home for once in a while.
Gosh, I need to. But yeah, I was on the fence early on. Like it doesn't. The shooting is not the high point in that game by a long shot. See what I did there? But it's just one of those things. We'll get it, yeah. But it starts to open up.
Is the story getting better?
Yeah, definitely. The story is very. It's one of those things where, like, kind of when you start.
I've heard it's kind of a slow burn.
Yeah, like when when you start let's say a new TV series, Netflix series, whatever, and it kind of throws you into the midst of this stuff, and you have no idea what's going on. And
that's exactly the feeling,
like,
and they expect they act like you should know, but they don't.
But you know that you don't know, and so then they start to kind of give you context as you go through the series.
See, they do that so that you then have those moments later on, Jeremy, where you go,
get it.
Oh, yeah. That's what they were referring to.
So that's definitely what they're going for here, but it's also still, there's like an extra layer of mystery so far, at least, and maybe it gets more explained, but I feel like it's like sometimes it's almost maybe mystery just for sake of mystery, which that's not great. But the story is much more compelling as you get in. And the thing is, though, so as you start to get more like telepathic powers, though, like you get, like the gun is fine, whatever, and you can upgrade it and change it, and it does different things. But then you get like the telepathic power to like pick things up and throw them. That's fine. That's neat. And you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. But man,
Right.
once I got the levitation skill to where I could just like float around the game like anywhere and like
That's why it's taking you so long.
And like once I got that, I was just like, okay, I'm sold. This game is something else. And like the way that the graphics kind of suck you into the world, and there's just a mystery there. And there's been some. I don't like that it doesn't have a difficulty level, because like I got into a boss fight that I could not finish, and I was getting so frustrated. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go drop that down to like easy or something because I'm just frustrated. And there was nothing there. So it only
I'm gonna
has.
distract you guys for just a second.
Why are
Check
you
this
bleeding?
out. I have no idea. I think I hit the table weird.
What?
And
on
I'm gonna have to go
earth?
figure out like how to stop this because it's dripping on the floor. I'm sorry. I think I caught a sharp edge somewhere.
Good.
On
Get
my
out
shoulder.
of here.
Yeah.
You're like gushing blood.
Look at this. I'm gonna show it in the camera.
Don't.
Gross.
No one wants to see that. No, they don't.
Did you get me?
Why are you dying?
I have no idea.
Well, okay, I'll just continue to talk about Control while Kyle contracts a blood-transmitted disease.
I don't know where you've been, Jeremy.
Anyways, Control. So anyways, once I got the levitation ability, I was kind of sold on this game. I think it's kind of that. It just feels really cool.
You're just flying around like
not to say Control controls really well, but
you're
does
flying
control
around
well.
like a wizard now, huh?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome. And like just being able to jump off of a really high area and then just kind of slowly float down to the ground, and then like to be able to, take on other dudes, like just floating around and shooting them.
Right.
All that stuff feels really good. And the story is really intriguing. So I'm going to try to I figure I'm halfway through, and I'm one of those people who kind of can't. I don't like to skip around on games, so I kind of want to finish this, move on. Link to the Past is out tomorrow, though, so
It's
I gotta
at
tis
least
the season.
You know
I'll
what
play
though?
that.
I mean, the difference with the Link to the Past is that it's
Yes, we know you've played.
No,
it before.
I'm just saying. I mean, it's an
so I
older
wanna-
Game Boy game. It looks like it's. I don't think that there's a lot that they've added to it, other than the coat of paint from what I've heard.
And that's
so
it's not for you. That's fine.
Well, no,
But, like, I really want to.
I'm really
it, so.
excited to play it too. No, I'm not saying
Yeah.
it's not for me. I'm just saying like it's. I don't think it's going to be one of those games that's like, oh man, I got to hit that next story beat the way that a lot of like modern games are. I don't know. I think because it was meant to be a game that you kind of played handheld, it wasn't as in depth. And it's because it's older too. I don't know.
No,
I
that
guess
makes
that's
sense.
that's what I mean. Like,
Yeah, I don't.
it may be something you can casually play as you're watching
Yeah.
TV, and it's not the same thing as like being as involved with Control or like a bigger story game.
I did play a little more Fire Emblem, but that was just because I was like, oh, I'm trapped on an airplane and I have my Switch, so I feel kind of obligated to play Fire Emblem. That game just doesn't end. That's what that is. I guess it just never ends. I don't know, Kuipers, did you finish it?
Nope.
Okay, cool. This is good to know that it doesn't end.
That sucks.
I don't know.
It does then.
It does. I know because you can.
Yeah, but you
replay
gotta
through
get to
different
80
houses,
hours.
and I'm way over 80 hours in that
Yeah.
thing.
Forget about it. Just play Zelda.
No, and so that's the other thing is I kind of want to finish it, and then I also wanted to play Astral Chain, which looks really cool, and strangely enough has some parallels to Control in a weird way, like story-wise. It's almost like, you know how like it's kind of that Dante's Inferno. What's the other volcano movie that I can't think of? I don't. You know how
Dante's Inferno.
Yeah, but you know how they always have like
Pompeii.
I don't know. You know how like movies will sometimes come out next to other movies, and it's what are you doing?
No, you're thinking about like
Jeremy's
Armageddon
just
and
standing
Deep
up.
Impact.
Yeah, but there was two volcanoes movies.
Was there
too.
another one?
Yeah, Dante's Inferno, and there's another one I can't think of. Right now.
I must have never seen that one.
I didn't see them either. But I'm just saying, like, the way like that works, it's just weird how sometimes things come out. And like, you know how Control, it's like your siblings, and like you play as the sister, and you're trying to find your brother, and like you guys have some sort of weird powers. And then, like, it's very loosely comparable, but, like, Astral Chain, also your siblings, and you both have like these weird powers.
Interesting.
And it's like, I don't know, but it looks cool.
Jeremy's got himself.
I'm back, guys.
Band-Aid.
I'll tell you what. I figured out what it was. I did bump my arm on the table, but I think I told you guys a couple weeks ago. Been seeing the doctor.
Yeah.
And put me on aspirin all day, every day.
Yeah, so your blood's thin.
So my blood's thin. So I was just sitting here. I didn't even realize I must have leaned up here earlier and
Don't
bumped
do it again.
No, I'm covered now.
And then you
but
just started.
What I was just like, oh, like I felt like my elbow was wet and I touched it and that's when I was just like, okay, I can't let this like I'm dripping.
That was disgusting.
It was pretty gross, but hey, I guess that'll happen if you get old and have to take aspirin every day.
So Jeremy, why does it say in the agenda guinea pig or ferret?
So I need your guys' help. My daughter's turning 13 this week, and all she wants is either a guinea pig or a ferret.
Okay, I've got all this figured out for you, so just let me get
this
out.
This is why I brought it up, because I know you've dealt with rodent animals in your house.
I'm going to give you an answer. Don't. It's too sad when they die. I had to go and kill 2 of my kids' animals at once, and they were like, it was like my son's gerbil or hamster and my daughter's rat. I had to go Saturday morning and take them both to the vet and have
a couple rats down in the household, right?
Her other rat died prematurely, and then this one had a giant tumor and started having all these issues, and it couldn't get around anymore. And then we came back from vacation, and the hamster's eyes were like gunked shut, and it was like getting old and feeble all of a sudden in a week. Like I don't know if it was like there's no human contact, I must die now. Like I don't know what happened. We had people come over to feed it.
I get that.
So, but just hold on.
I don't want them.
But just so here it is. They die. They have such short lifespans, and then it's like you get like you still get. I think like even as someone who was like, oh, when my daughter wanted rats, I was like, rats are disgusting. They're disease carriers. Why would you want this? And then you get a rat and you realize that they're the most sociable, kind, like nice little creatures. I had no freaking idea. It is the weirdest thing to say, I know, but these rats are like, I completely turned 180. I was the most.
It did contract a disease and died.
No, it didn't get a disease. Well, they got cancer like everyone does. But the thing is, it's like the rat. Okay, so here's where it really got me. I was not invested emotionally in these animals at all. I was just like, they're rodents, whatever. Like, I'm a man. Yeah, whatever. The one died. I felt bad. You feel bad for your kid, right? Because your kid's sad, so you feel sad because you're empathetic to your child.
But you hadn't grown a bond with that one.
So this other rat, my daughter had me in this routine where every night when I'd put her to bed, she'd be like, hey, Ryan wants a treat. You need to give Ryan a treat. She wanted me to interact because she knew I was hesitant about the rats. So for over a year, I gave that thing a treat every night, this little yogurt bite thing. I always gave it to it. And I'd try to like play with it. And it was so nice. They're kind of blind. So sometimes it would like bite my finger and miss the treat when I was giving it to it. And it didn't hurt. It was just like a gentle like, oops, that was the wrong thing. And then it took the right thing. So like the day before we realized that, Dad has to be the Grim Reaper and kill everything that the children love. We were gone, right, for a while on vacation. I come upstairs, and they were talking about how he wasn't moving and he wasn't getting around. That stupid thing recognized me after being gone all this time, and it was laying in this little bed thing, and it didn't move for anybody else. It saw me, knew I was the freaking treat giver.
You're the treat giver, that's
and
right.
started crawling out of its bed,
you realize
dragging
its
gimpy leg that didn't move. I know!
Okay, cared about
I don't need your rationalization.
I'm just trying to help you here.
And it popped its head out, and it saw me.
No, it saw the treat giver.
I know, but that's me.
It didn't see you at all.
I'm the treat giver.
He is the treat giver.
But
it saw him.
No.
It saw the treat giver.
Jeremy, you don't have to do this. It's just like your airplane argument. I'm not using logic right now, okay? I refuse to use logic in this conversation.
I understand.
It saw me, and it popped its little head up, and it wanted a treat. And I was like, I'm going to kill you today, is what I thought.
Did you give it a treat?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So
enjoyed its last meal.
So I had to pack them both up in their own individual shoebox, have my kid say goodbye to them. I cart him to the thing, and here I'm at the vet, like, and I'm like talking to this lady, and I'm like, I looked online on what to do, and everything just sounded horrible, and I couldn't kill him, and they said that I should bring him.
Called Uncle Jeremy.
I should have. They said I should bring him to you, and that you would do things, and like the lady, and like I'm emotionally distraught at this point because like I'm feeling emotional about it. Like she could tell that my like eyes were watery, and like I was, and she's like, "Oh, I know. It's like it's fine. I had a pet rat, and it was this nicest thing. It's okay." And I'm like, so. And I just wanted to like pay the lady and leave, and she's doing all the paperwork and stuff, and then she's like, well, you weren't. So she says we don't normally have people stay with the rodents when we kill them. Like, she's like we don't normally, because it's not as like she's pretty much like, hey, we can't find a vein on these things. Like we. It's
not like dogs and cats.
Yeah, and so she's just like, it's not like a tender moment where you can pet it and like it goes to sleep or whatever. She's like, so the only thing they have to do is they kind of have to stick the whatever right straight to the heart. They have to, so it's like much more invasive. And so I'm just like, why are you telling me all of this?
I have a less invasive method.
I didn't want to know any of it. I just wanted to give you these shoe boxes. I was just like,
yeah,
Kenny's in the Adidas box.
Yeah, you give me the certificate of death, and
Ryan's in the Doc Martin box. Just leave me alone. Like, you need to write that down. Like, I just wanted to leave. And so I paid him and I left. So here's my advice. You're going to have to buy one of these stupid things anyways. Go with the ferret. Guinea pigs are annoying, stupid. They smell bad.
But
and
ferrets
they
bite, they say.
No, ferrets don't bite.
Have you had a ferret?
I've had 2 ferrets in my life.
All right.
Guinea pigs are freaking noisy. If you want to be awake for all night long and hear this weird guinea pig noise that they make all night, they make like a weird squealing sound. Yeah. It's horrible. Ferrets are freaking awesome. I had a ferret and I named it Will Ferret. And
of course you did. Of course you did.
and he was awesome. And then I liked him so much, I got this big fat one that was all black. I named him Meatball. And they were so cool because you can just let them run around the house, and they'll like.
I heard you can toilet train them.
You can't. They are litter trained.
I litter trained a rabbit, so I figured,
Yeah, the ferrets will litter. They like back up into litter in their cage.
But how would a ferret do with 2 cats and a big old dog?
Well, that I don't know. You might not want to let them run around unprotected or unsupervised.
Yeah, it might be a room animal.
Yeah, but they'll find shiny things and try to hide them under, like they like try to make a nest somewhere. And
my daughter's room probably has a lot of shiny things.
Yeah,
there were all these earrings underneath her pillow.
I remember I used to like it was early on in my marriage, and we had the 2 ferrets, and like I would get out of the shower and like be drying off, and they'd come up to you and they start licking the water off your ankles. Like, so they're just like these, and they're just goofy little things. Meatball was fun because he was stupid. And like, I would put a little dish of water in his cage, and he couldn't figure out how to just drink it out like a normal animal, and he'd stick his whole head underwater. And he don't.
I heard they love to swim.
And I'd have to like pull him out because he'd like almost drown. And like, no, I'm just pro ferret. That's all I'm saying. I mean, a guinea.
I would say I'm more of a pro guinea pig person myself, having had one growing up.
Okay.
As well.
You're not making this easier for me, Kuipers.
I know. Basically.
So why?
Now I'm gonna argue him.
Why?
We're gonna debate.
Other than the weird guinea sound.
So if you want a more of a chiller pet that like doesn't really do as much, or like but like can still be like you can cuddle with and everything, guinea pig would be more of the choice. If you want something that'd be more like more fun and entertaining, ferret would probably be your better option then.
Oh boy, Eric's gonna tell you why you're wrong because he cuddled with Meatball.
I didn't cuddle with Meatball, but the guinea pig just still makes that terrible noise. That's all.
They can be noisy, yes.
And when you're trying to sleep at night, and then you just hear that weird thing.
Well, they'll be on the other side of the house. I might not care.
We, at least when we were growing up, he was more like kind of trained with us, or like we got him when he was really young, so we kind of was able to get him on routine.
Can we stop for
Well, my parents and I.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
In my household when we got him, because I was in 3rd grade when we got our guinea pig.
But ferrets are so smart. They're like super intelligent.
Yeah. Our guinea pig was not the.
Do they chew on things? Either one of them?
No, ferrets will kind of nest. Like they might go under your couch and like hide out under.
Yeah,
there
that
and
ain't
put
happening.
things.
We'll keep them in the cage if that happens.
Yeah, our guinea pig was fearless because like there'd be times where neighbors would walk by and they'd be walking their dog and they'd stop over and he'd just be at the front of his cage being like, "Hey, what's this thing? That thing can eat you." Yeah, but what is it?
So my biggest concern is that our lab would find either animal and just think, "Oh, you want to play?" and bite its head off.
Well, you can just get the death of it over sooner. So.
Well, that actually. So then I get the birthday present solved, and I don't have to live with the extent of. Okay.
Well,
that's a terrible idea.
Personal experience though too. Sometimes the dogs would actually be more scared of our guinea pig than he was of the dogs.
Yeah, I don't think that's my dog. My dog's like,
you'll find out.
You're an animal and you move. I want to play with you with my mouth.
Well, there you go. You got two choices.
Yeah.
I'm going to say you're probably going to go with the cheaper one.
Maybe
So
we'll
enjoy
tell
your
you,
guinea pig.
Maybe we'll tell you next week if it happens. Because it'll be whatever the pet store has.
Oh, well, they're going to have a guinea pig. A lot of times ferrets are harder to find. But I will say they're much smarter. They're way more fun.
Well, we'll say my daughter's talked longer about a ferret, but then I feel like she then thought, I have better chance of getting a guinea pig, so I'll talk about that.
Yeah, but if you're like a cool dad, you'll get a ferret.
Wow.
I'm just saying. That's all. I'm
That's
not guilty.
tough.
I mean,
you're
guinea
really
pigs are fine,
putting it out
but
there.
if you're
Eric.
a cool dad, you'll get a ferret. That's all I'm saying. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All the cool guys have ferrets.
Cool dad. I mean, what cool guy doesn't have a fur snake, right? All right. So here is our only story.
You skipped over Kuipers.
Oh, Kuipers. It's
Put something in there.
You said something. You wanted to say something.
Yeah, shiver me timbers. Today is Talk Like a Pirate Day.
All right, great. New York Post is reporting that the Navy is saying Tom DeLonge UFO videos are unexplained aerial phenomena. So does this mean that the UFOs are real? Is the Navy?
I mean, isn't that what an unidentified flying object is?
Well, they've changed the terminology of it.
Oh.
It is now an unexplained aerial phenomena.
But that would be
so they're UAP.
Yeah, it's a UAP is what they're calling them.
A yap. It's a yap.
But the videos with these, it's like a black and white video, and they see these images, and I think Kuipers has the video even pulled up here.
Is this like from an airplane?
Yeah, it's something that I mean Tom DeLonge
dogfighting
has
with
been
it?
No, not dogfighting, but just kind of observing it. So he's been trying to push this. Hey, I think there's aliens out there. And there's video footage that he had somehow gotten a hold of. I'm not entirely sure, but I think he was working with someone that used to work in the government. And they'd released these videos, and the Navy has now confirmed that these are, in fact, accurate videos.
And that they don't know what it is either.
Right. But it doesn't necessarily mean that they're aliens. But it does confirm that they are unidentified phenomena.
Objects.
Yeah. So something that is happening in the air that cannot be explained.
So if I got a question for you guys,
tonight,
what does it change anything for you if aliens are real? Like, does it change anything in your life? Like, do you care? Like, if
I mean, it would be kind of cool if they're humanoid, but what if they just are like dogs? Wait, then they could
ferrets?
be a pet. Then they could be a pet.
That's messed up, man.
Why?
I don't know.
Oh, you're assuming they're intelligent, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
If they're flying their way here,
if they're flying,
I think
I
they're
haven't seen a
intelligent.
dog figure out how to build something
How do we know
that
how
flies.
intelligent dogs are?
Well, I haven't seen it build.
Think about
anything.
it. No, they're super smart. They go, if I just make this person happy every now and then, I get food and water and shelter.
I saw the Rick and
and
Morty
love.
episode where
I
the
mean,
dogs could talk.
I mean,
Yeah.
they may have the right idea.
No,
They're
no,
an oppressed species.
Okay.
Humans just abuse them.
Yeah.
I think so many people like being the top of the chain, and it scares them to think they may have to share the top or not be the top.
That's also sounded like you might have been talking about a homosexual relationship.
No, I think they normally have a pretty clearly defined. And I mean they in the singular non-binary form.
Full circle! Good job, Jeremy. Can always count on you to bring it back.
Thank you. Oh, whoa.
Man, what? Yeah, be careful over there. I don't want you bleeding all over the place from another cut.
What? That was so inappropriate, Kyle. I don't know. Don't read into that. So UFOs, great.
So it doesn't matter. Aliens could be here. That would be cool.
Why do we think their ships are circles? I don't understand this. Do we have circular floating planes?
Because that's what people have seemed to identify as things that they have seen that looked like an alien ship.
Flying saucer.
That's why the saucer is the
dish.
Prototypical.
Do you think it's because we're seeing what we want to see?
Why do you
I think it's because they're seeing circular light and they think that that's what it is an alien, so it just has to be a dish.
It's kind of like at night you don't see the plane, you just see the blinking red light on its tail.
So, but how do you explain the thing that they don't know what it is?
You don't, because they don't know what it is. So, you can't. That's the whole premise of not being able to explain it.
But it's just fine then. Or do you think
there's lots of things we can't explain.
Name one other than UPAs.
How Jeremy's arm started bleeding.
No, we explained that already.
I don't know if that was really explained.
I don't know. I don't
really know either. You're right.
Yeah, I don't know if blood thinning necessarily makes your skin that thin that a little.
Well, I know that's what made the blood go nuts.
Yes, that's why you were gushing. Yeah. Doesn't necessarily indicate.
Oh, I was gushing. All right, Kyle.
All right,
you were squirting that electricity out of your body.
Thanks everyone for watching tonight. It's been a real thrill and pleasure. I hope you had a good time.
You don't even. I don't know if you believe that.
Why wouldn't I believe it?
I don't think Eric wants you to have a good time.
We're done.
Be honest.
Shut her down. We done our business. Let's get out of here.
All the gushing talk, it really got to me.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's been a real thrill, though.
Gushers are an underrated snack.
But, I don't want to leave. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to dismiss us.
Jeremy wants us to.
I do?
Go away. Get out of here.
I do?
Be dismissed. I don't know.
I don't want to. I want to.
Stay right here.
I want to thank our lovely and kind Patreon Pete.
All of they.
These are all of they lovely individual who donate.
They are lovely.
No, thank you very much for the person who does donate on our Patreon right now. That's Mr. J. Oliver. He's a hero, an unspoken hero, a not celebrated enough hero.
Right.
You could be a hero too. You just got to go over to that patreon.com/minuteintub and give us the mooney. It's all about the mooney.
I mean, it's not, but it's not.
No, it just really helps us. The support really helps us, gets us excited, and
gets us that pizza for Extra Life.
It helps us get through Extra Life. Thank you, Jolver,
which is not too far away, folks.
Patron.
It's like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. Please be cool like Jolliver. If you want, or don't, like whatever. It's your money. You choose, right? Yeah.
Show Jolliver how to be cool. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
show Jolliver how cool it is if you're donating more than he is.
How would they know? We don't tell them.
You're right.
So they just have to keep adding until they feel like it's enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Please do that. Just whatever. Just get to the point where you're like, this is enough.
Yeah. If it doesn't hurt, you haven't given enough.
You suddenly sound like a righteous gemstone.
That's what I was going for.
He hasn't even watched the show, and he knows what he's talking about.
Thank you very much for joining us this evening. It has been a pleasure, an honor, and
it has
really above all else.
It's been a show.
It's been a show. Keep your eyes to the skies. Look for those aliens in disguise.
What if Tom DeLonge is the alien?
Why would he want to bring so much attention to himself?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's a misdirection thing.
What?
You know, everybody's talking about
I don't know.
I don't know. Oh, and he's the real alien, so he's gonna.
Yeah, he's misdirecting everyone from himself.
But I don't think there's enough people looking for aliens, so in some way he's telling you to look for aliens.
Hey, also, don't go and storm Area 51. It's a bad idea.
They already canceled that.
I know, but there are still people getting arrested storming it.
It happens all the time.
It's fine. Just Naruto will run.
Yeah, you're right. Go get arrested. Do what you want.
I say go for it. I mean, prove Darwin right.
Good night, everybody. Peace out.
Goodbye.
Thanks for restarting that track, Kyle.
Well, I was gonna fade it back down.
No, I like it.
Why did you have to do that?
We wanted to listen again.
So nice.